Hello there, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow, it has been a long time since, yeah? Well, here I am, and welcome to the Waran Shanmugam show, yeah? It is the 3rd of August. Yes, it's the Merdeka month, yeah? If you could see at the back, I have got this lovely, lovely Jalur Gamilang. But I want you to tell me whether this is a real Jalur Gamilang, that means a physical one, or a virtual background. See whether you can identify. So if you can, please use the chat area to write down whether it is a virtual background or a physical one. Yeah, but I think by now you should know already. But let's see whether you guess it right or not. So yeah, it is the Merdeka month. We have got loads of stuff happening this month. I've got lots of lineup as to lovely, lovely guest speakers who are going to come. Someone whom you wouldn't have thought will be coming in. And this time around, if you could see, the variety of speakers that we are getting are very intellectual, very knowledgeable, and it's more towards success. Yes, it is about success. How do you want to become successful? Is the notion that we were talking about. And we could only think about one thing, giving you the toolkit as to how you can use these tools whenever there is a need, a necessity for you to actually pick and choose and then use it as per your need. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching the Waran Shanmugam show today, please be mesmerized because today, yes, today we have got a fantastic speaker who is going to share with you an amazing concept. Yes, it's KPI. Do you all even know what KPI means? Well, I remember going to an organization many, many moons ago. Yeah, I wouldn't tell the years, but yeah, when I went there, they were talking about KPIs, and I don't even know what was the abbreviation for. What's the whole words for KPI? So along the way, I learned the hard way, of course, but eventually it really helped me, not personally, but in an organization where I was working. But of course, now, after talking to Jay Kannan, the man who will be with us shortly, he showed us how, or rather showed me how, you can actually use KPI to be successful in your life. That means your family, your friends, your bunch of people, your circle of influence. It's amazing. It's not only for corporate, ladies and gentlemen. It's not only for the businesses out there. It's not only for the bosses out there, but it is also for your personal use. How will that be of a help? I don't know, but Jay Kannan will be here to share with us what it can really do for us. Now, this is the best time for us to use this KPI. Why? Because pandemic came, pandemic went. Now we are back to norm, full-fledged. But a lot of things are happening here and there. If you could see, war a little bit here and there. Pricing is uneven, currency, jobs unavailable. A lot of things are happening. But what can you do to be successful? What can you do to help yourself? Jay Kannan is here to share with us what is KPI and how KPI can actually help you so that you can now measure where you were, where you are, and where you are going to go. So, interesting topic. Please post your questions as much as possible because it is going to be mind blowing. And I'm saying this because I know it is going to be. I'm sure you will also once you have heard him talk. So before I bring him in, right, let me just play this short clip that he did, and I want to show you because it's in the YouTube. I'll give you the link later, but watch this together, shall we?
Hi. Lately, I've been meeting many CEOs, CFOs, CTOs, managing directors, GMs, business owners from all kinds of industry. My favorite question to them is this: how do you measure your employees' work performance? Usually, there will be a long silence after this question. Then they will speak up. They will say they have job descriptions and the KPIs for all head of departments. And the head of departments will manage their subordinates' deliverables. This is how they practice. My next questions will be usually like this: how do you keep track of their KPI performance in real time? Is it possible? Do you find it difficult to track the performance? One CEO said, Kannan, you know what? When we don't monitor them, they will not do the updates. Absolutely, this is true. We can't blame the employees for not doing it. Of course, there are some lazy ones out there who need to be reminded every time. But most of the times, employees are doing multiple tasks and they tend to lose focus on the key result areas, especially with the new norm where many of them are working from home. Thus, today, we need to change the way we do business. How nice it will be if you are, as a business owner, you can see a dashboard where you can see your business performance and all your employees' performance in the form of graph, charts, and all the visuals. But why is it so important? I wanted to imagine this. Let's say you're driving a car without a dashboard, no speedometer, no oil indicator, no petrol indicator, no temperature warning light. Will you be safe on the road? Think about it. I'll see you in the next video.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Jay Kannan. I don't know whether the video played well or there was some buffering, yeah. But again, can you hear me? Okay, let's bring Jay Kannan. Hi, Jay.
Hi, Waran. Hi, Waran. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jay Kannan here in the house, and he's an amazing gentleman. Look at him, always in a professional mode. Yeah, he's our guest speaker. Let me share a little bit about him. He is a certified KPI professional. He's also a business consultant. He has been helping many businesses to transform amazingly. So if you have got if you are an SME, if you are a small business owner or a large entity, please, if you need help, call this man. He will transform your company big time. And remember, he is going to be doctor soon, yeah? PhD candidate, yes, from UTM. I'm waiting for that to happen. Kannan, before we can proceed, right? I have got some comments already here, and I need to show you this. Rajwin says inspiring. Yes, Rajwin, definitely inspiring. But wait till the end of the show because then you will say voila. Okay. And then you have got Alexander Warrior. Good job, Alexander Warrior. Please watch this show. Remember to listen to this KPI because this model is going to be really fantastic. It's a concept where everyone needs to be learning so that you can improve yourself big time, big time. And then, of course, we have got Sri Dona. Drona Devi is here. Hi, Drona. Very impressive. Yes, indeed, very impressive. And I like what she's saying because it is very interesting. She commented in also our Facebook many times. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Drona Devi. And yes, Jay. So everybody is waiting for you to share what you have got to say about KPI. But before that, Jay Kannan, who are you, Jay Kannan? Let's share that, shall we?
Hi, Warren. Warren, very excited. And thank you for having me in your show. Um, I really admire the way you run your show, very consistent. In the last couple of years, I learned a lot from you. I did mention that when I used to do the live show, a lot of things I learned from you. And the key is the consistency. I think today one of the take-home message will be consistency, and that's you are doing great as consistently putting up life. And today I'm truly honored to be here on your show.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, and hi to all your viewers, and some of them I know they have already commenting here. Thank you so much for joining this show. Just a disclaimer. Just now you mentioned that I'm here to totally transform organizations. Okay. This disclaimer is I'm just helping organizations to transform. Transformation lies in their hands. Okay. As we unfold the topic, we will discuss more on that. Okay, just introduce myself. I'm, as what you mentioned just now, I'm actually a corporate trainer, consultant, certified KPI professional, and lately I'm focusing a lot on business, performance improvement. So KPI is one of the things. KPI is not something is new; it has been there many years, and it's just that, like many people talk about business goal settings and all that. So this is just one way of measuring, what you do and all that. So my job is partly focusing on a balanced scorecard method. I use this blanket method, which is balanced scorecard. So these are four perspectives. The people, process, customers, financial. These are the four perspectives. That means organizations need people, and people must be constantly trained, upgraded, their knowledge, their skills and abilities and all that, so that if they are competent, they will put up a very good process. That means the operation will be smooth and all that, and they will produce good products and services, and that will satisfy the customers. And if the customers are satisfied, they will keep coming back, and they will be buying more and more products and services from you. That will increase your profit margin, and your business will consistently will grow. So basically that's how the whole balance scorecard is actually working. And the whole thing is supported by software as we go, and I'm actually currently working with a few organizations already putting up. We are bringing this software to support as a tool. So that's a little bit about myself. And in the kind of trainings that I provide, of course, leadership trainings, customer service, and train the trainer for the middle management and the top management, strategic management. So these kind of things that I'm doing now at the moment, Warren. So over to you, Warren. So I'm sure you have a couple of more questions to me today. I'll share as much as possible on this topic. Okay. I can't hear you, Warren.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, the question is this: why KPI and why is it so important? I know you spoke about how in a car, if you do not have a speedometer, then you have to be extremely fearful because you don't know what's happening. But why is it so important? Share with us.
Warren, okay, let me just give an analogy. Health. We talk about health. We are all very health conscious people. As once you hit the age about 40s, 50s, and all that, you begin to worry about your health. So when we were young, we are not so much worried about our health because we always think that we are very young people. I mean, we are young, so health is the last priority in our life. But as the age is catching up, health is something that we are paying attention. But how we measure how healthy are you? So we go for like annual medical checkup. So once you go for the medical checkup, they will give a one piece of paper with all these the metrics and all that stated there. Very simple one. Normally we go for the blood pressure 120/80. We say that okay, this is normal, and you have your the sugar, you maintain your glucose level in your body, and then your oxygen level. So these are all the indicators, right? That is for the health. We have indicators. Similarly, for business to sustain and grow from average to awesome to extraordinary, the organizations have to measure, have to keep track of the performance. So, this is why the key performance indicators, KPI itself, it's a key performance indicators. Let's simply say it is a goal setting. You set the goal with target and how soon you want to achieve and how frequently you want to measure all these things. If you don't measure, then you don't know. So whatever you measure, you can control. So if you don't measure, then what happens is it goes unnoticed. By the time you find out that something has gone wrong, it will be too long for you to rectify. So that is why we encourage the organizations to track on real time. So if you see the video that I made, the real time is the key here. Today we have tools. So the cloud based tools applications will give you real time. So when I show that the software, you will be surprised how advanced the software is, how interesting and catchy, and especially for the top management, the moment they look at the software, they wanted to have this software because it becomes so easy to use it, and it's in real time they can manage the company's goals. Okay, I'm looking at this team structure now. You just put up this slide here. Now this is whenever I go and talk to the top management, especially the CEO, the whole KPI implementations come from top down, not from the bottom up, from the top down. So I have to meet up with the CEOs first. So when I talk to the CEO, this screen I will show to them. Now the CEO sits up there, and you can look at this, a typical hierarchy organization chart. In this organization chart, you can see some of the team, the boxes are showing green, some red, some yellow. So that means there is a legend here. That means anyone achieve more than 80%, the box will turn to green. So that means the data is actually entered by the individuals. As the data coming in, the system automatically generate and changes the color according to the performance. Every one of them given performance. So during my consultation, I tell the what do you call my client, typically one person we will assign 7 to 8 KPIs. 7 to 8 KPIs are the based on the key result areas, Warren. So once they come up with the 7 to 8 KPIs, my job is to feed it into the system. And next, once I set up everything for them, the system is set up, cloud-based system. Every month they will key in the data. As the data coming in, the CEO wherever sits, he will be able to open the software and he will see how his managers, frontliners are performing. So it doesn't matter how large is the organization, individual performance and the team performance, everything is, at one click of a button, they will be able to see everything. So this what excites the bosses, especially the last, as you mentioned short while ago, that we have just, still in the endemic mode. We were from the pandemic, we have shifted to endemic. During the pandemic, everyone worked from home, right? Everyone worked from home. People are disconnected, and half the 30% of them probably they are in the office. The rest of them are working remotely. So how do you keep track? The biggest challenge for bosses, you are a business owner, you know very well. The hardest problem is to track how our employees are performing. How to track? The guy might be sleeping. You won't know, because how do you track? You can't use a CCTV to track him. But then we give them freedom. But if you are more of a what result oriented person, we will see the result by looking at this organization chart. If their color is red, you can question them. Now is the time you need to call and talk to them and ask them what is going on. Why are you falling back on your KPI? So this is the main thing excites most of the bosses. So since you already showed this, we can straight away get into the other question, or else I can show the other part of the maybe the next slide, Warren.
Yeah. So before we go to the next slide, if I may ask you now, you were talking about as a business owner, as the boss, to manage and to see, to view what are the what's the performance rate like for a particular employee with regards to the tasks at hand, is the best tool. Now, I want to play a little bit of a devil's advocate here. How about a an employee? If I am the employee now, every single thing that I'm doing is going to be tracked. Now, if there is an indicator saying that I'm not doing my work, it's going to be a big thing for me. So, and you're talking about a couple of tracks, a couple of tasks that you have to put in so that everything will be tracked. Will it be difficult for me as an employee?
This is a hypothetical question. Will it be difficult for an employee? But this is very often these questions are asked during my workshop sessions when I run the workshops for the management people. Because sometimes the goals that target is set to you is interdependent on other departments' data input and all that. So what will happen? Other departments don't give the data on time and all that. So actually, what is happening is now when we set the KPIs, we will only put in KPI that you are fully responsible for. So we got to choose. That's why in the workshop sessions, I will tell them, you come up with 15 KPIs. They will come up, they will somehow extract 15 KPIs. And of course, in the process, I will guide them how to extract the KPIs from their job description. Now they come up with 15 KPIs. From the 15 KPIs, we will choose the best 7 KPIs, which is addressing the key result area. Why do we employ people? Why do we employ people, Warren? We want them to perform. We want them to execute certain tasks, right? Based on
Yes,
the
you're right.
key result areas. Example, a salesman, his job is to sell. So if he's like drawing salary and not selling anything, so that means he's falling back on the KPI. So that is the key result area is selling. Maybe it's a car salesman. The number of cars is selling, the volume of sales is generated. So these are the key KPI, the most important KPIs. So this one, they are 100% they are responsible. They have to be accountable for this outcome. But of course, there will be some KPIs they may have to refer to other people. They have to get data from others and all that. That's where we encourage more engagement. So those, let's say they fall back because of one of the KPI is for some reasons, maybe during that time they have some issues or what, they can always this one will promote engagement with your superior. So we encourage the bosses to have monthly meetings. During the management meetings, he can bring up the issue, and then they can iron out the problem. Instead of just waiting and things go wrong, and then suddenly the boss will check out and see the report. Oh my God, you haven't been producing the last 3 months. That is already too late. So just to answer your question,
All right.
there's
Thank you.
no
I mean,
perfect. Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's no perfect situation, but we will choose the most important KPIs and then track them, and we promote engagement with the top management.
Very nice, very nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Jay Kannan here, KPI certified consultant, and he is talking about KPI, yeah, and how it's interesting. It is not only for the business owners; it is also for an employee to keep track as to how are they progressing. Are they progressing well? Do they need help? If there is a red flag, then how do I ask for help? How do I seek for assistance? So it is actually helping both ways. Yeah, if you look at it in that manner. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And on that same note, also I have got this gentleman here, Venkat, all the way from God knows where he is now. Yeah, he's in the east, in the European country. He was in Switzerland, and then he went to he went to Germany. I think he's in UK. I'm not sure where he is, but yes, he is with us. Thank you so much for being here, Venkat. And yeah, he says hi to you, Jay, also. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. The next slide is yours.
Hi, Venkat. Thanks for joining. Okay, coming back to this second slide, I'm just showing some screenshots of the application, cloud-based application that we are using to track KPIs of employees on real time. Okay, now this screen, what you're seeing now is some of the graphs that they key in, so some of the data coming in yearly, like some data example, like for a manufacturing company, customer satisfaction, probably they are tracking on an annual basis. So 1 year, one time, maybe in the month of their, if let's say their fiscal year is January to December, they may send out their their forms to their vendors and all the customers on maybe somewhere in October. So by the time they collect back, by end of the year, they conclude. So that becomes a yearly KPI. And then they have a quarterly KPI, and they have monthly KPI. So you can choose this. The system is seamlessly can be adjusted according to the client's needs. Okay, and it's agile. So here you have monthly basis KPI. Some KPIs are monthly basis. Of course, sales tracking and all that, the product delivered on time. So these are all the monthly KPIs. So this gives you, so end of the day, as the data is coming in, the boss can just click on the graph and to see the report, how each KPI is performing. So this is what the bosses are excited, because otherwise what happens is every month they have a meeting, the staff will bring the Excel sheets. Probably they have a simple graphs done according to their skill level in the Microsoft Excel. They will come and show to the class and the bosses, and they present in the meeting. But in this case, they don't have to do all that on the site. So they can generate the report and all that. But on the KPI, everything automatically generated as they click on the reports they want to see. So this is how one of the screen that I'm showing now. Maybe you can move on to the next screen. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, Warren, the whole thing is based on the balanced scorecard. Balanced scorecard is the 4 perspectives. We have the financial perspective, we have the customer perspective, we have operations and people. In my experience, I've done workshops many places. Many people do not really understand how to define the KPI. They think when I ask a question, normally I do a training questions. I ask them, do you know what is your understanding on KPI at the 1 to 8, where do they stand? Probably most of them will say, okay, I'm 6, 7, 8, but then when I ask them to write one KPI, they struggle, because they think KPI is the job description and the roles and responsibilities, a piece of paper given to them, and they join and they start their employment in that company. So they think that is that KPI. That is they're vaguely understanding on the KPI. That's why during the KPI workshop session, I tell them, okay, KPI should sound like number of days, percentage of customer satisfaction, percentage. Or you can use this, you have to use this kind of keywords and all, the percentage, number, total sales, ratio, so this is how it should measure. And some of the KPIs I'm showing here, let's say operations, the number of days taken hiring. If you're HR manager, HR exec, you should be able to track number of how many days you take to hire a person. So if you set a target, hey, my KPI is within like 14 days I have to hire a person. But let's say you've been every month you've been falling backwards. You are like 28 days. Sometimes you take 2 months, 3 months, and people down there, all the other managers are complaining, hey, you're not supplying the employees and all that. But if you're not tracking, you won't know that you are falling backwards. So once you are falling backwards, then you take action. Actually, you can start to analyze why you're not able to achieve that. So operations here, number of new enrollment. let's say like university and colleges and all that. This is a very important thing, number of new enrollment. If no enrollment means no cash flow. So new enrollments, like for my I have an academy myself, so I run academy. So I've given my girls to do digital marketing. Okay, in a month 16 visuals you need to post. So that is one of the KPIs, 16. Sometimes they do more, sometimes they do less. So when they do less, that means the KPI is actually going down. So if you once you put it, they know that this is the key result area. So if they don't put, then they when they don't do it, you don't know that, because we are also too busy. We are doing multitasking. We overlook things, like you see people, the courses attended. This is for the university and academy and all that. Innovate number of, like this symbol is number of innovations, ideas generated for people. People also, we must, like if you are in the manufacturing sector, they do many a time they will come up with a kanban system, kanban or kaizen is the improvement, very well, you have worked in the manufacturing and all that. So the kaizen is continuous improvement. So we encourage people, please come up with ideas. The Japanese very good at it. They reward people for coming out ideas. So one idea can make a major difference. So if you don't promote this kind of things and all that, then people don't really generate their ideas innovation. So it also can be tracked under the people the perspective. Okay, maybe you can move on to the next son. Okay, I'm just very quickly, I'm just going through this, how the whole thing is actually being measured, how they evaluate and reward individuals, like, okay, first thing is the KPI means, as I mentioned, 7 to 8 KPIs tied to every individual. He is the owner for the 7 KPI, and he has to deliver. So that is a KPI plus competencies. The one customer, he asks, okay, okay, Kannan, KPI is very good. Okay, what about competencies? What about this guy? He does all kind of nonsense to make sure his KPI is always green. He can do a lot of manipulation within the organization to make sure it's always green, no? But then that's where the competency is coming in. Competencies is his integrity, is honesty, and then it's a teamwork. We have in fact 7 competencies already by default. There are there, but let's say some customers, they will say, no, I don't want this competency, I want some new competency. Probably they have some additional competency in that. So they can always, as I say, the system is is agile, they can change it. But then competencies must be equally taken into consideration. Otherwise people will manipulate. Human being very good, no, they can manipulate so the system. So that's why we tell the customer, normally, Waran, I can ask you a question, usually based on your experience, how frequently they do performance appraisal in organization?
Yeah, so on a normal setup, usually it is two, one at the very beginning, one at the very end of a cycle. Yeah.
Okay, so that is, in fact, that's one of the best company. I think they do too. In my experience, I've met many organizations. Mostly they do only once, end of the year. So this is called lag KPI. Lag KPI is they will do it end of the year, end of the term they do one time, which is actually not very good, no. So if KPI like competencies, the performance appraisal, if they can do 4 times, so quarterly means is ideally the best. So you see what happens is, let's say a teamwork. A person's teamwork is not very good. You find out in the first quarter itself, this guy is falling back on the teamwork. At least you have some time to change his behavior. So after you evaluate that guy, and you in the software, you will track and say, okay, his teamwork needs improvement. So if his teamwork needs improvement, then he will know he has to do something, or maybe some skills is backward, so you can send him for some training, and you can close the gap. Otherwise you wait until the end of the year, it is already too late, and probably the problem become too big, and you have to sack him, or you give him warning letter, the guy get demoralized and start looking for a new job. You may even lose good employees. So is ideally every quarter they do performance appraisal is good. It's only going to take about 10 minutes of their time. Only thing is management commitment is necessary to do this. So the performance and behavior both equally measured in this KPI system. So when they give a pay rise, it's always fair it's a fair deal. They don't go and reward someone who is KPI damn good, but his competencies are lousy. So it becomes like very fair deal, no? You only reward those who are performing high performance people. And this one, Warren, for your information, many big organizations, listed companies, have their own system, the HR, very comprehensive HR management system. But many small companies do not have. Even mid-range also do not have. So it gives a lot of opportunity for people to look into this new software.
Yeah. So talking about this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that was Jay Kannan. Yeah. I told you he was an expert. So there he was talking precisely about the system, the application that he has, and also how actually it will be beneficial for the company and also for the employee. Yeah? So Jay Kannan, can I just ask you? Now that you are talking about this KPI, I'm sure you can share with us some of your probably success stories or any success stories that you have heard with regards to an organization using KPI and then boom, they became very, very successful. Can you share with us one or two of those stories?
Yeah, okay, maybe I can share my clients. That's one of my clients. I have this problem. They are transport company, so they have many lorries and all that. Transportation, or they have the tankers. They do a lot of forwarding, transportation, all this. So their major, they realized after when we went in and they put in the software, they realized that major costs, operation cost, is going for the lorry maintenance. They did not realize that the vehicle maintenance is a very high cost, and since initially they did not track. So normally it's a P&L balance sheet, monthly they see the P&L balance sheet, or probably half yearly or end of the year they see P&L balance sheet. They did not realize there's a major cost is going there at the transport. So how to track now? See, lorry drivers, they will take the lorry, they have to send the lorry on time for maintenance. They need to change parts and all that on time. If they delay that, the maintenance part, let's say one component is falling off, already making a problem. Let's say the brake system is failing. And these guys, what they will do, they just don't bother about the timeliness of maintenance. So timeliness here saves a lot of money when you have numbers. Let's imagine you have 300 lorries or 400 lorries. The timeliness, if you don't send it on time, what happens is the maintenance cost gets higher, the consumption, petrol, the diesel consumption gets higher. So everything, it actually generates, adds to the cost. So what they did after the KPI, there are many other improvement they have done. The major thing is, one is the boss himself mentioned to me is they saw after this, they put in the KPI system, the lorry drivers have to enter data using the mobile phone. So if the data doesn't come, let's say they don't send because they have 14 days, within 14 days, they have to send the vehicle for maintenance. If they don't send the vehicle for maintenance, that means they are failing on their KPI. So last time, the CEO, very difficult for him to track all these lorries, whether are they going on time or not. So now with this application, they can see whether this lorry driver is sending the vehicle on time or not. And the department head, the maintenance head, whether he is doing the right time or not, right thing or not, because that adds a lot of cost. And major thing is the cost. Let's say about 10% of their cost they reduce also. That adds value to the bottom line. So that's one thing that I noticed. These are the operational KPIs. Operational KPIs have become, in fact, it's very, very important. Mostly the finance KPIs, finance people will manage. But the operational KPIs are the one goes unnoticed, and a lot of cost is actually incurred in that area.
There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So Jay Kannan is here, and he was talking about some of the success stories that is out there, yeah, that he has seen. So he spoke about operational KPI, and then you have financial KPI, and the list goes on, yeah. So KPI is dependent on different department, different area, and also for your life. So he's going to talk about how KPI is going to be helpful for your life in a short while. But before that, Jay Kannan, if I may ask. Now, let's say I am a new manager in an organization, an airline. let's not name the airline. Yeah. So I'm a new manager now. Now I am supposedly may manage two staff, recruitment and training. Okay, so these are the two stuffs that I have. Now, I'm sure you have done so many KPIs, or you know what are the pretty much the JDs, yeah? So therefore, you will know what are the requirements that I need. So how would I, as a manager, make or rather come up with or rather develop KPIs for these two staff of mine?
Okay, Warren, good question. That I mean, I think you're aware that every manager, every department head, the beginning of the year or probably the end of the year itself, they are given budget. Okay, that how much budget is allocated to each department for the operational cost.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing is operational cost itself. You can monitor, you can track. That means the operating expenses for your department, OPEX. Huh? So that number one, that will add value to the financial perspective. So reduce is better. Of course, your operating cost must be lesser lah. Let's say they have given you like 150,000 allocation for your operational cost for the entire year. So that actually what you can do, you can put in as a KPI. 150,000 ringgit is the operating cost for your department with the two people and you. So you must track, make sure that you operate, for the 12th month, you operate within that cost. You don't burst your budget. So if you don't track that, okay, quarterly you can track. Okay, 150 divided by 4, you put it as a target. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So once you put this as a KPI, end of the first quarter, you work out your total cost expenses in your department. You key in, as you key in, your boss can see, oh, okay, not bad. Warren is within his budget. You're on track. Because, of course, 150K is your year end, for one entire year. So once you divide it into 4 each quarter, you can, if there's anything, and let's say beginning of the year, you already bust your son. You already overspent. So the second, you can, be very, probably sometime advertising costs. Probably you're very ambitious. You go and advertise in TV Tiga, and it becomes like too costly. So at least the following quarter, you can be careful and in your spending. That is one of it. Huh? So like if you say like, you're a training manager, if you're training, recruiting, okay, time taken to hire, you can track, sourcing channels. Sometimes how many channels do you use to hire people, and then that one you can track. Cost for the hiring alone, how much advertising costs, how much money is spent on that, you can track. And then number of qualified candidates is, you will receive a lot of emails and all these things. So how many qualified candidates over total candidates also you can track. The percentage of qualified candidates you can track. Submit the people, like, interview to offer. That means how many people come for interview and how many got the offer letter. So this one is like, if it is a larger organization, this is a large number actually. If it's, of course, if you're talking about small company and all that, not many people come for interview, probably 5-6 people come. If you have sometimes a very large organization, you have hundreds of them appearing for one position, especially now where the jobs are scarce and the candidates are, over supply of candidates now. Thousands of them will apply for probably 1 or 2 jobs, So there also you can, KPIs you can set. That is on the recruitment part. Coming to the training part, Warren, like training, like efficient, what is the return on, investment, ROI on the training? And then how much cost per full-time employee you can track. There in the training itself, there are so many KPIs. The training attendance. In large organization, they encourage people to learn online. And some companies have their own, learning portal, training portal and all that. So there you can also track how many of them come online and take up courses, how many of them actually sign up, and then how many completed with a certificate. All these are the numbers you can capture, percentage you can capture, effectiveness of your training you can capture. And then you can capture your, if you're on the HR side or not, you're also in charge, mean employee retention, whether this training is actually increasing the employee retention or not. That also you can capture in numbers, no. So normally, when I go into organizations, the first thing I see is their job description, and then I do a lot of interaction with them. I ask a lot of questions. I ask them, what do you do actually? What is your job? What is your boss expecting you to do? So when they explain, from there I will catch the keywords, and then I will define their KPI, and I'll tell them this is how your KPI is going to be. You can start to track like this. The target, of course, they and their superior will decide, what target they want to set and all that. So this is something about the question that you were asking just now.
Yeah, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Jay Kannan here. Yeah, Jay Kannan, a certified KPI consultant, and he just shared with us how I throw a question to him as to if I'm a new manager and if I've got a staff or maybe one or two staff, how do I then create or develop a KPI? And he nicely put every single thing. He segmentized it. He made sure that every single part of my work is taken care of, and I am able to observe and monitor their task at hand with this KPI system. Yeah. So if you really need to learn, if you want to know more about KPI, this is the man that you should go and look for. I think your Facebook page is Jay Kannan, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Jay
so just
Kannan.
type Jay Kannan. It's a very peculiar, very celebrity like name. Yeah, Jay Kannan Kannan. So if you find that in Facebook, you'll be able to get connected to him, become his friend, and then ask him questions because he's a gem of a guy. He will help you regardless of who you are, where you are from. And talking about where you are from, you see, Jay Kannan, this platform, right? It's a very interesting platform because I not only speak to those people whom I don't know, I also speak to people whom I know. So once in a while, my good friends from different parts of the world will come. So yeah, Padma Devi Salvaraj, or rather Padma Devi Sebastian is here. She's all the way from Cluj, Romania.
Wow.
Hi there, Pat. It was her
Hi,
birthday yesterday.
Padma.
So yeah, happy birthday, Pat. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, so can you see, Jay, a lot of people who wants to know about KPI here locally and also around the globe because it is so important, it is so helpful. Well, at least that is what I'm saying. Now, let's go to the core of it. KPI helping us in life. Now, I want to know, Jay Kannan, how has KPI, do you even have a KPI? I know I'm not supposed to ask you this question, but do you have a KPI set for yourself and your family members? If yes, and I'm sure it's a big yes, how does it help? How it has helped? How do you monitor? And some advice as to how do we manage our life with KPI? All yours.
Okay, I think I can put it this way. I always follow the 5F method, lah. 5F method for the KPI. Yeah? I personally follow this. First one is your faith, your connection with the Almighty, whichever religion you are, your connection. We have to set our KPI. Our KPI is every day be grateful to God that, of course, when you do it every day, it becomes a practice. You don't have to track it anymore already, right? Now, you don't have to track. I don't have to track how many times I pray, how many times I think of God, and how many times I thank Him for whatever I've given. So that is the first one. And then your finances, finances, of course, keep track of your finances, your revenue. Of course, as a business owner, revenue is a major part. The bottom line profit. A couple of years ago, before pandemic, I used to think of generating revenue, higher sales. But now after the pandemic, I go for the bottom line. No point of generating 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, and at the end, bottom line is not really to your expectation. So focus on what is left. Okay, so that one, and then that is my personal KPI. So, and then friendships, the other F is the friends, quality friends like you, Warren. This is also my KPI is to obtain a quality, only OQP, only quality people. Okay, and then fitness. Okay, your fitness, take care of your health, right? And then when it comes to the fitness, of course that connects to their medical checkup and all that. You go, make sure that all your, the indicators, health indicators are all good, so that you can live a good life, and then you can contribute to the society. Okay, so this is basically what I do, my personal KPIs and all that. Of course, like this is very general, tracking, keeping track and all that, of the number of, like example, like your, I'm coming back to you, the number of uh, shows that you put up is your KPI. Per 1 week you do one, right? You do one, so in a month you have four. So your monthly KPI for live show is four. So anything you fall down, come do lesser, means that you're not doing enough. You're doing more means you're doing extremely well. So that's how it is. Of course, business definitely. Maybe I just want to quote very quickly how I benefited from this KPI thing for my business. My academy, a few months ago, when I started this KPI thing software, when I started for my own company itself, what I did, I told my girls, you see, your Google review is very important for business growth. People come to Google and then they search. When they put in the keyword and search, next they go to the company, that our company is there, and they will see, how people are responding, reviews. People buy, making decisions based on reviews. You look at Shopee and Lazada. People buy things not because they want to buy, because somebody wrote there good about the product. They felt, hey, this is good, man. People are writing good things about the product. So that is a very, very important indicator now. So what I did for my business, for my academy, I run a college actually. So what I did, I told my girls, okay, this is important. 1 month you need to get four of our students, they must write a review there, and then you must consistently do it. And again, I tie back to that first word, when we started the show, I said consistency is the key. So once they were doing consistently, today my girl told me, sir, suddenly we have a lot of inquiries are coming in. When I asked them where did they get the info, I saw in the Google review people are writing good things about you, so I believe you're doing a good job. So that becomes a very, very important KPI, which is generating sales, and in getting more leads for our business. So whatever it is, it has to be tracked consistently. If we don't track it, it will die off. That's my take for that question.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It is as simple as that. You can have all the KPIs in the world, yeah, but consistency is key. If you are not consistent in tracking and making sure that you progress accordingly, then KPI remains KPI. So, yeah, very nicely said. You spoke about the faith, the finances, the friends, the fitness, and I'm sure the fifth one is the family, yeah?
Oh, yes, yes, that's right. You're done.
All right. Yeah, I figured that out because it is so important for you to have all these five in making sure that you have got a fruitful life. So, yeah, you know what? A lot of times, right, Jake and then you will have the bright side or the pros to a particular application or a concept. There will also be the con, the not so nice side. What's the not so bright side for KPI? How is it going to be difficult or not so nice for people? Is there a con to KPI?
Yeah, definitely, Warren. That's a good question. There's, of course, there's no one system. Everybody will, embrace it happily. There's always a resistance here and there. As far as anything new is concerned, first thing is resist. People will resist because they, fear of change. Suddenly, something coming in. Normally, when I enter organizations, the first day in the workshop, people will be very, hostile. No, the participants will be a little hostile because they know that I go in as a KPI consultant. I'm going to put up KPIs for these people, so I'm here to punish them. They think that I'm here to punish them. So then I will break the ice, and then I will tell them I'm here just to facilitate and help them. So normally people will have the fear, fear of change, and then they think the management bring in this thing to punish people. Actually, it's not. The management want to grow. So if the organization grow, the people in the organization will also benefit accordingly. So it is that is one thing. Other than that, is the management buy-in is very, very, very important. I would say that's the utmost important thing. The top management, the CEO will be very happy the moment they see it. I want this, they will say. But then when I go in meet the middle management will start to give all kind of resistance and all that. They will of course throw questions and all that. No issue of throwing questions, but then some of them they won't be cooperative. So middle management buy-in important, the department head buy-in is important, and then the top management have to see the bigger picture of this KPI. Otherwise, the system itself very user friendly and it's agile. They don't have to fear that they need to take hours to learn this. No, even like what the Apple boss, Steve Jobs, he says that bozo friendly. It has to be bozo friendly. So this system, I have tried many KPI system. In fact, our cloud KPI system is the most user friendly. So within like 2-3 hours, I can teach people to do data entry and upload reports and all that. Very easy. So in terms of ease of use is there, and it's easily accessible because it is in the cloud already. They don't need to install software and all that. That's there. Only thing, the people mindset, they have to learn to accept the change for the betterment of themselves and also the organization. So otherwise, there's no major setback in this software.
All right. So they actually see you as the KPI police, yeah, whenever you go
Yeah,
into an
yeah, correct.
organization.
Um,
Yes, very nice. So yeah, Jay Kannan, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic man who talks about KPI. He's a certified KPI consultant, and he speaks about KPI in and out, and he will make sure that you learn KPI within hours. That's what he says. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to know about KPI, which by now I think you should know already, KPI is the most essential part of our life. If you do not have KPI, then the question is, where are you going? It is very much like if you sit in a car and if you want to go to a place, you use Waze. You must put the destination. When you put the destination, only then it will calculate. If you take the wrong route, it will recalculate. Then it will tell you what time you will reach. This is very much like KPI. Yeah, so it will show you indicators, and at some point, if you think that you are stuck, seek for help, ask for assistance. Only then you can move on rather than you sitting down there. And also for the bosses, it's very easy if you have got umpteen number of employees. It's very easy for you to just have a look at it in one go, as how Jay Kannan showed in one screen. Where are they now and who needs help? So, ladies and gentlemen, consistency is key, and not to forget, faith, finance, friends, fitness, and family is the utmost important thing in life. Use that and then put them for KPIs and track them so that you will know that you are on track and life will be blissful. Jay Kannan, thank you so much for your time. It's August and it's Merdeka month, and you are giving us loads of ideas to be Merdeka, to be independent. Yeah. So, Jay Kannan, thank you so much. Any final message for our viewers? All that they are all watching, lots of comments coming. Yes, what's your take for them?
Yeah, thanks, Warren, for having me. It's about almost like 1 hour we are talking about this topic, KPI and balance scorecard. Dear viewers, those who are watching now and those who are going to watch later part, I know a lot of people will come back and watch this content later part. If any questions you have on KPI you want to implement in your organization, you can always reach out to me. My Facebook, as what Warren mentioned, Jay Kannan, you can see there. Or you can just Google and see Jay Kannan. You can bump into my website, and the same person, you can see me there. And then any emails or what you can drop in. I think my number is also there in all my, my Facebook and all that. So you can always get contact me.
Malad
Can
is
we have
asking
his number?
your contact number. Do you want to give your number?
Yeah, you can always. My number is 012-737-7674. Okay, you can reach me, WhatsApp me, and keep in touch. So I can do a free, presentation. Come over there. I can show you how how we can implement this KPI system with the software, and then we can go from there. And thanks a lot again to Waran for inviting me to your show.
Lovely,
And,
lovely. It is 1 hour already. Thank you so much, Ekanan. Amazing concept that you have shared. Thank you so much for that sharing. And those who are
My pleasure.
watching, throw that question to him. J Kannan is the Facebook page that you need to look for. Add him as a friend, ask him lots of questions, and he'll be able to help. Maladi says, good talk. Yes, thank you so much, Maladi. And for those who are watching, thank you so much for being here. For those who will be watching the recorded version, please share this with the many people out there, because KPI is essential. Go look for it, share with everyone, and be mesmerized. So with that, thank you so much. I shall see you when I see you next. Thank you so much once again, Jay Kanan. Bye-bye, ladies and
Yeah, you
gentlemen.
too. Good night. Good night. Good night. Okay, good night, folks. Bye.
Bye.
See you all.